UHHH. Sounds of wailing could be heard from the voice of a child. A midwife held up a newborn, yet her face was that of a deer frozen before headlights. Demon. She yells as she inadvertently drops the child onto the floor and runs out of the room. The tired mother looks down in fear and panic as she tries to form words, but fails to. Her frail and weak body shuddering as she hears her child cry. Looking at her, it was a miracle she even survived till birth, let alone from the agony of childbirth. My child. She groans as she flips from the bed and falls to the cold hard floor. The sounds of crying only increase as blood flows from out the child's head. The woman drags her body over the floor, using all her might to reach her child. No mother could possibly remain calm while her own child wails in pain. After 2 minutes she finally reaches her destination. Her thin arms wrap around the bleeding child as she brings him to her chest while leaning on the bedpost. She tries to calm the child as a certain green glow envelops him in her bosom. This, she utters in confusion. Her confusion is instantly forgotten as the child seems to heal from said green glow, and she herself also seems to regain some of her energy. Not questioning the miracle, the mother smiles as she stares into her beloved child's crimson eyes. "You will surely grow up to be a handsome child," she claims as she studies her child's curious gaze. Child's pav. "You will surely grow up to be a handsome child," the beautiful yet frail-looking woman says as she looks at me with a loving gaze. Handsome? Do all parents say this upon the birth of their child? I mean, like, seriously, just how handsome can a fat pile of parasitic potato be? I question in my mind, recalling how I ended up here. Minus 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 minus. Welcome human 347 ZJ 3827 GTP 00P. Academian Pfister, a mechanical voice says. You have been chosen among billion souls to reincarnate within a random universe. The Supreme God, Nana Bane Sama, has blessed you to alleviate his boredom and gifted you with certain perks. It continues. Huh? That is all I can say as I look around and see myself in a white room with a talking bird mounted upon an oak tree. World chosen, One Piece. Gifts shall be introduced by the age of 7 as the Lord has decreed. Good luck human 347 ZJ 3827 GTP 00P. It states once more. Huh? Minus 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 minus. And now here I am, supposedly in One Piece, reborn into another life. Well, my previous life wasn't that fun, so to say. How did I die, you ask? Well, I killed myself, of course. Why, you ask? Why not? I mean, I no longer had a purpose to serve. How can one live without a purpose? Isn't death just a better conclusion? I was 4 when my entire family, me included, got into an accident. Well, that's what they called it anyway. I mean, when a rich young master, with a belly filled with booze and chicks on both sides, ends up on the driving seat and gets into an altercation, what else could it be but an accident? A bit of hush money is all it took for his father, the mayor, to buy off the authorities and pass it off as said accident. Luckily for them, only a 4-year-old made it out alive. And the rich father just sponsored my future into an orphanage, passing off as the good guy. They even buried my family in unmarked graves, forgotten from history itself. Little did they know, I was born with an eidetic memory and recalled everything. I was ready to end myself by the age of 9 after I spent 5 years realizing that I just couldn't do anything to bring justice to my family, legally anyway. The law was against me. If granting my family justice was considered illegal, then so be it. That day, at the age of 9, I came to the conclusion, fine. I'll do it myself. So by the age of 16 I used my intelligence and persistence to learn how to build explosives like any other sane person would in my situation. I recalled my toddler sister's cry as she died slowly due to a large metal beam protruding out of her stomach. All the while I was stuck as my seatbelt was jammed. My naive arms too weak to do anything about it. My parents died from the impact. After all, they took the momentum of an SUV going 220 km/h against a sedan going 60 km/h. So yeah, I walked into the young master's wedding and blew everyone up, including me. I mean, I could have easily made it a remote-controlled bomb, but who cares? I don't have anything to live for anyway, so I chose against it. At least I had a flashy funeral. Minus 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 minus. So yeah, there you have it. Now I am looking at my new mother as she weakly stands and washes my body. She had beautiful white hair and purple eyes, though her body was extremely malnourished. Mommy dearest image. Another thing I noticed while being washed was that my mother seemed to groan in pain a little every time she touched the still water within the bowl, yet her gentle smile never left her face. I then look around and find a cracked mirror on the wall and see myself. Unlike my mother, my eyes were crimson and my hair was even odder. My mother had bright white hair, while I had black hair. Though that wasn't all, it seemed like my hair on the left side was mixed with red strands. It was rather odd. Well, it's hard to process as my hair was quite short. I mean, I am a newborn. As for facial features, I look like a chubby pile of fat flesh. What else do you expect from a child? Beautiful nose bridge, Adonis-shaped eyes, glorious ears and lips like a passing river. Lol, this ain't a wuxia, my friends. I looked like any baby, with cool eyes and hair. That's all. Speaking of features, that bitch. She called me a demon and dropped me on the floor like weak, old homework. Seems like my mother has a healing type, devil fruit, but has no clue how it works and ended up using it through desperation. If it weren't for that, I would have died before I could even take my first shit. My mother finished cleaning me up as a rather rude person barges into the room, without any consideration for the people within. Like seriously, can't you guys knock first? It's almost as annoying as your dad, flicking the light on at 6 a.m. to wake you up for school. A burly man with white hair charges in and starts yelling, "Nadia! Eileen told me about him. Give it to me. Give me the demon." My mother scowls and brings me into her bosom, wrapping me with her thin yet warm arms. "I will not give you my child. Demon. Just because his hair and eyes are different from our tribe does not mean he is a demon." She yells back. It was quite impressive seeing a frail, 5-foot-tall woman glaring at a burly, 9-tall man. Mothers are quite scary when you threaten their child. You. How dare you protect that demon? If you don't hand him over, then I will exile you from our tribe. He shoots back. Now hand him over. He yells as 4 other white-haired men blast in and surround my mother. Why you are going to force me to hand over my own child, Laron? Nadia roars as she takes steps back to the corner of the room. Grab the kid. That is all the man says as his minions walk forward with menacing glares. Nadia scowls once more as 3 of them hold her and the other grabs the child from her hands. Stop. Give me back my child. She yells furiously as tears fall down her face. Demons don't deserve to live, Laron says as he grabs me by the back of my neck. Well, I inadvertently start crying. This damn weak body. Stop. Nadia's face warped in fury as she heard my cry. She yelled once more as some sort of pressure rages forth. Immediately all the men in the room have their eyes roll back to their heads as they fall to the ground, unconscious. My mother rushes forwards and grabs me before I hit the ground. She looks down with a loving gaze, dry tears stuck to her face. It's alright, little Damien. Mother will always protect you. She then walks out of the room with a sea of unconscious bodies all around. Everyone else outside seems to have been knocked out by my mother's cry. My mom is the only thing on my mind as I fall asleep in her embrace.